Fear, love, and trust. They're big ideas. Join me as we talk about this today. Good morning, I'm Pastor Phil, and we're out here in the garage where you can see our beautiful front yard. It's absolutely wonderful to have you here with us today. Fear, love, and trust. These are big ideas inside of theology, and they're ones that are very worthwhile for us to actually contemplate. And the reason why these ideas, fear, love, and trust, are really important for us to contemplate is because of the world we're in today. I was talking with a member after church on Sunday, and this member was voicing some questions about some of the stuff that's going on around us right now. And ultimately, the discussion revolved into a question about the first commandment. Now, the first commandment, according to Martin Luther, well, according to the Bible, is you shall have no other gods before me. That is a command of Yahweh to the children of Israel. Luther goes through in the Small Catechism and explains to us that whatever we put our fear, love, and trust in is in fact God. Now, that's a big question for today, because when we look at the world around us, what are we putting our fear, love, and trust in? There are some things that are definitely, traditionally positive things, but if we're putting our fear, love, and trust in them, they're not that great. Do we put our fear, love, and trust in our family, that they're going to be the thing that saves us? Man, I love my family, but in the end, they're not God. What about, do we put our fear, love, and trust in the health sciences system of the world around us, that they'll have all the answers for all things? Well, they're not God either, so I don't want to put my fear, love, and trust in them either. Now, what about a vaccine? Because, there's COVID and there's all this fear that's coming out again. And there's all this discussion about the Delta virus or the Delta version of this. And then Lambda came out recently. Where's our fear, love, and trust? As Christians, we have the remarkable joy of knowing that there is nothing more powerful in our life than the work of God. God is the one who our fear, love, and trust go into. But because our fear, love, and trust go into God, we also realize that we are given minds to use for critical thinking. Are there things about the COVID vaccine that you can ask honest questions about? Absolutely. Especially in terms of the questions of faith. That there's things there. Why is the push so much that our fear, love, and trust should be set into this one thing? Because the government tells us, and we should trust the government because they're here for us. Now, I'm sure if you wanted to be snarky, you could make the same argument and say, Pastor Phil, dude, the church has done the same thing. And I'm going to be honest and say, you're right, it has. But in the end, the Bible tells us, whatever we put our fear, love, and trust in, that's our God. And that's the thing we follow and the thing we worship. So as you go through your day today, I'm not asking you to make any political comment like I have in terms of the COVID virus or the COVID vaccine, because that's a point where we can really begin asking the question of what are we putting our faith into? What is the thing that we're looking at as being for our provision? Are we looking at God caring for us and this being a means by which that care can be provided? Or are we looking at this as being our salvation? Because the wording in the news and in the world around us is not being one of, this is a way that God is blessing us, but this is being billed as being God. We should put our fear, our love, and our trust into this virus, or into this vaccine for the virus. Now, stepping away from that for a moment, I want you to contemplate something of the bigger picture of it. What are the things that you find yourself putting your fear, love, and trust into? Is it whether you have enough food, that you want a big food pantry in your basement? Is it having the newest vehicle, that's where your fear, love, and trust is? Is it in making sure there's a certain dollar amount inside of your bank account? Is it having X number of bullets so that when something happens, you're set? Where is your fear, love, and trust settled? Where is it that you place your trust as you walk through life? Is it truly placed in God and in his redeeming work for us through Jesus Christ and his care for us? Or is it in something else in an entirety, but we like to keep this one over here because it looks nice? Or have we, even worse, divided our attention to where as believers, we kind of have a view towards Jesus, but we also have this thing going on over here, that our fear, love, and trust become split, and that's it. And if you find that to be the case, Jesus also says that a servant cannot have two masters. With that, that's the big takeaway. I think considering the world that I see around me, I want to take the next several days, week and a half, I guess, 2 weeks, and plow through the 10 commandments, just really basic stuff. And today the first commandment is, you shall have no other gods. So, well, brother or sister, what are you putting your fear, love, or trust in? I pray that God blesses you as you go through your day. I look forward to seeing you again, and I'll see you tomorrow as we continue on and we look at the second commandment and we contemplate it. With that, I'm Pastor Phil. It's wonderful to see you. I pray that God blesses you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. God bless. I was just getting ready to go edit this video, and the thought went through my head that I want you to know that if you have extra food stored in your house, or you have ammunition, or you have a plan in case of an emergency, or whatever it is, it's not bad to have these things. God calls us to use our heads, but the big question is, where are you putting your trust? I just want you to know that if you're living kind of that homestead lifestyle, my wife and I desire to get there eventually. That's not a bad thing. That the big question is one of, where is your fear, love, and trust? It's not having that other stuff is bad, that you shouldn't plan for the future, but it's making sure that as you're planning for the future, you're keeping your attention on God. With that, I'm Pastor Phil, and I will see you again tomorrow. God bless. See you then.